Good day, everyone. Just back from Alaska. Wanted to check in. For me, music and land is very healing to go to places that I'm connected to, that I can do gazing different than where I am. Like, so thankful to be back in the sun and the heat. But having come out of the heat and going to be in Alaska for a couple of days was very like a profound healing, a cooling, a resetting, and then to have the band that I'm fallen in love with, to have them play 2 nights in a really powerful place was just such a gift. Just so thankful to be able to. This is how I vacation. I don't, I shake my bones. I get into situations that I can move a lot of energy and have profound healings. And there's a lot of people there that are doing the same. They've had death, loss situations, and they found healing through live music. So to be in the presence of other people healing, in these ways. But yeah, Alaska is a place of power for me, and it's like in my ancestry. We're very affected by things that imprinted our parents. It like plays out in our being. However you learn to deal with that. My grandfather, who I never met, presented himself to me in the wilderness in Southern Oregon on a long hike, and this has been coming up. People say, well, how do you know it was him? Aren't you afraid that it's some secret spirit that's tricking you? And when you don't have spiritual fear around things, it's okay either way. Like, you're embodied and you know that like your being will reject it when you trust your being. So, but don't be afraid anymore, because you're gonna die anyways, and fear doesn't help. And so there's just this whole way of being with this stuff, and then you don't have to live in a religious programming of any kind. See, it's what Toltecs say: is religion just finds its way in. Even when you come out of it, it still is in the background, which is a significant thing to talk about. Like, it's gonna be tricky for people to come out of the spiritual idealism and get to the raw energetics. And that's just where, all of us are just playing out our own projected emotional wounding onto the world. So if we're getting sidetracked or consumed by information, it can start to become isolating and painful. I'm working with a lot of people to come out of that, to let go of all the information, because it's a distraction from your inner process. It's okay to be tapped in if once you heal enough. Like, I can watch the news and not get injured energetically when you're unconscious of what's happening, you're being put into like a heroin trance. Just like, it's a program that just like, I watch my family all these years, just the news is just like zzz, just but once you see through it and it doesn't make you sick anymore, you come back to it and just, you can do anything. You can go watch the Hollywood stuff. And honestly, I'm helping people go back to doing things that are like emotionally processing. So movies often are more helpful for that process. So everything they give us is not just because it's there to program us, doesn't mean we can't. It's a double-edged sword. We can use it to heal. And when you use the world to your advantage that way, then you're no longer a victim of anything. And that's the power of our perception, is we create our reality through how we interact with it. I'm not called to watch movies or anything, really. I don't have the attention for it. My ears are open. I'm wanting to hear the world and music and be in either in nature or in like a dark room, or I'm really called to explore what's possible with my time left. But I also can decode and observe and learn from really powerful films. And I do when I feel called. Like Dune 2 I could watch that over and over and over because of how significant of an energetic experience you're inside of by observing that story come to life. And I'm linked to that story in ways that are significant because of the experience I had in the dunes in Oregon and the vision I had, and then how it linked later to being the same place Frank Herbert came to in his, powerful series of books. And those books are a significant part of our reality because sci-fi is how transhumanism's being, entered into our storyline. So these publishers, everything's linked. Authors that are willing to kind of go along with what that agenda is are supported and given a lot of money over many years to become a permanent staple in order to imprint this dream. And then it just prepares us, right? So I'm not saying if you're at the stage where you want to unbind from all the programming, absolutely do not, honor that and get out of all of it. But these rabbit holes of conspiracy theories and following and tracking and decoding, it can be fracturing. And for some people, a lot of women are finding that it's not sustainable to stay focused on. And so I do recommend turning off. Like, do I really want to be listening to this, or do I want to turn it off and cry, or do I want to scream, or do I want to just, what does your body want to do? Because your mind will run the show. And that's why I teach the movements and stuff as a means to get out of the mind for a little bit, and the body, all these emotions come out we don't even know are going on, because how powerful the program of this consistent internal dialogue is. And so I'm so lucky to have found gazing at such a young age, and to have not gotten too ungrounded in doing it, because it isn't an easy thing to learn. But it allows me to make use of the perceptual reality of this world in a magical way, really anywhere and anytime. And that's what changes everything. Like Hunter S. Thompson was pretty powerful in his ability to be conscious of multiple things at one time. Like he could keep track of every football score back before that was easy to do. He was tapped into every game that was going on while he was taking tons of LSD and cocaine and alcohol and cigarettes into his body. He was just in this, these places of intensity where you're merging all the worlds. And there's a trick there. There's something, I was at work giving a presentation one day, and my perception moved so far. The sun was coming in through the window, and I had an experience that was very difficult to not reveal was happening. But I found like that mechanism to be able to continue with the presentation without having to shut down the experience that I was having. So I did both. I did learn this art from being around police on psychedelics. I would look in their eyes even though I couldn't really see their eyes. And so over the years I learned how to appear to be, normal when I wasn't. And I did push it with psychedelics at a young age, and it is a reckless thing that I don't recommend, but my trauma led me to that process, which led me to some significant discoveries, and then I found ways to repair my being. And that's why I recommend considering doing things differently and just utilizing the movements. I still work with cannabis and mushrooms and alcohol sometimes, and as a means to explore and have fun and listen to my intuition. But the chemical ones like LSDs and ecstasies and stuff, shamans say to stay away from. There's a process that is frying you when you're inside of those chemical. But there's a time and a place. I know couples and families and systems where ecstasy has such a profound healing effect. People are doing up to 30 grams of mushrooms these days. and having everything come up at once and navigating the intensity of it's just, I'm not closed-minded, but I do want to make sure people know there's other ways. What Rachel and I are offering in August is really a slow and cool introduction to what recapitulation can be like. There's a variety of ways to approach it. This life review process, or this retrieval of soul essence. And so feel free to reach out if you have questions about that. It'll be in August, every Sunday in August at noon Montana time. And then, yeah, I'd love to, if more people feel called to come out here in September, or August 31st, September 1st. And we'll also be doing a few extra days if you feel called. But mountain time, we're doing a retreat out here in Montana, and it's a really powerful land. And we're going to be doing some really dynamic shamanic movement together, and the synchronization of doing things in person. It's really powerful. So much to look forward to, and really amazing people that are going to be there and coming from different parts of the world. And I just want to make sure everyone's aware, because if you feel called to this, it's very life-changing to do things like this. There's huge energetic boosts happen for sure, and so that's almost like more of a warning than a lure. You want to make sure you feel you're ready to receive support, because the armor sometimes is tricky, and we reject the support we feel. But this is just really unbiased, non-judgmental space in which a lot of energy can be developed, and we can lean into that support, and we can support each other while receiving the support at the same time. So that's what goes on in my courses. We focus on reclaiming our relationship with being in a wolf pack, what it feels like to be in sync, in alignment, and it's energetically powerful. So there's just so far no room for drama. It's just a place people respect. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware of how strong it is, and then bringing Rachel into it, and then what she's offering for women it's really rare. Like, people are going to be blown away by what Rachel's and the women she's working with. It's just a really different, that we're coming out of the masculine, or women are coming out of the masculine and really returning to their natural state, and it's a very difficult thing to do. So kudos to you ladies on the path of being willing to feel into how programmed we are, and the autopilot mechanisms, and then all the defense reactions and stuff. But men too, women are programmed, or the way the pressure and forces that interfere upon women are very different than men. So it's hard to relate or even understand, and yet it's that perfect opportunity to allow our somatic healing to lead to bodily knowings, which allow for great clarity to come through thoughts, and so we can speak these things honestly without having to rely on books or other people. We want to become our own emotionally honest self and work through our explanations rather than try to remember somebody else's. And that doesn't mean it's not beneficial to read and learn and get support and take steps or utilize systems. They're powerful systems in place, and that's what I'm offering is in my course is a system, and there's other people offering powerful systems. So as I've said before, a lone wolf is a dead wolf. We're here to learn how to be social creatures, but in an abstract way, so that it doesn't become a place to hide. Most people are seeking company out of desperate fear rather than listening and going through the difficult process of aloneness to get to the place where they can fully show up. And so that's what this is. This place is a support system. The courses and the workshops are a system to get honest with where we're at in that, And then we start to trust our body as our yeses and nos around invitations that are provided to us or offered and things. You just start owning your feelings more and honoring them instead of trying to create a reality that isn't real. I think a lot of people are trying to manifest or forge a new reality tunnel or whatever, but we gotta first honor the pain, get to the tender wounding, because when that is given an outlet, and there's so many cool ways to provide that outlet. That's what I do in my one-on-one sessions, is offer as best feedback as I can as a mirror to, because I'm not in my mind a lot. I'm following and tracking feelings. That's led to really significant, beautiful dreaming I get to do. It's hard to have such powerful dreaming and still be in this world and relate. But that's key, is the humanness. Is not getting spun out or lost. Finding, and that's why Toltecs go and seek tyrants to work for. They actually go out and try to find somebody that will challenge them more, because they're already really strong, so they want to be stronger. And if you can handle people who have massive egos without getting offended, there's so much freedom in that, because you become the observer of that ego. You learn so much about humanity by being able to stay inside of that intensity. And there's a variety of ways to be with those tyrants. You don't have to, like, you can keep your integrity and you can still challenge authority and be powerful. Like, you don't have to be some, docile person in this world. You can, in the airports, you can, they say you need your real ID next time, and no thanks, I'm not going to be doing that. Why not? You tell them what's going on. It's okay to be vocal to our world and speak to these tyrants, even poke fun at them at times, but Toltecs do warn that you don't want to go into battle with these people. These people are in place in our reality for a reason. So the inner journey, you don't have to worry about the law stuff. I mean, I know it's a powerful thing to do, and I honor people that are doing it. But that won't determine whether or not you are able to utilize this realm to discover perceptual freedom. That has everything to do with crossing the dreaming gates. That's a totally different thing. This whole thing is theater. And in the dreaming gates, you enter into something that's more real than this world. But this world is incredibly helpful. It's a necessary piece, and it allows us to balance the shamanic with the humanness. We're glued to this place, just even, which is good. You don't want to get lost out there. So when your dreaming attention would wane, you would just find yourself back. So it's actually a really unique situation. And I mean, the designing, I'm not to say there are not disturbing elements to this realm. I think people are trying to pretend it's all love and light, and it's not like that. We gotta feel all of it. And the fact that we've been outmaneuvered perceptually by some being that is utilizing us as food is not an easy thing to just accept without going through the stages of coming to terms with what that means for you and how you can utilize that kind of pressure to discover ways of being impeccable with your energy and time here. So I appreciate everyone. I hope to see you in Montana. I hope to see you in our course Rachel and I are doing in August. Reach out. I do free consults. And I don't promote very much just because I want it to go slow and build. But the container's gotten really strong, and it's a place for, it's a really powerful time we're in. So I felt called to extend this invitation and remind everyone about the opportunity to come train with me and Rachel. Um, yeah, reach out. Much love. Hope your days are powerful, and we'll connect soon. Thank you.